Alright, so we in here doing reactions today. Omeezy just dropped one of my favorite YouTubers. I fuck with bro the long way, like in real life. So I think this is about Snowcone. Alright, we finna see what's up. We finna see what's up.
Y'all know how expensive it is to keep up with content creation? You could get a 10K check from Twitch. What the f is a 10K check when you gotta spend 5K on trips just to travel, $500 on setup, $2,000 on your rent, $200 on Wi-Fi, $200 on IRL toolkit? You gotta pay.
A lot of it don't take all that. It only takes that. You know what? Never mind.
Clippers, pay a YouTube editor. Chat, I don't think y'all realizing I be going into negative doing this, okay?
Going into the negative after making $10,000 in any check, I don't care. This is streamer Snowcone, who was a small gaming streamer before Streamer University. You know, the ones where everybody came to the campus hosted by Kai Cenat and ultimately became IRL streamers and sparked this whole revolution of streaming that we're seeing. Yeah, she took the opportunity that she got there, got the package, and capitalized. Now, unfortunately, though, she did a master class in what not to do when you're streaming.
I don't know what this is.
It's Megan Thee Stallion's new tequila, so you get to test it out and take a picture in the photo booth. You can come check it out.
I don't know. It's really free Tory, so I don't know. I said it's free Tory. It's for Megan Thee Stallion. We signed with my.
Shawty give me like that goth vibe. She look like one of those girls that like sit at the desk and draw anime in the back of the class and don't talk to nobody all day. And then like boom, she break out as soon as high school over with. Now she like got all the personality in the world, but she still got the same style. I don't know. Maybe that's just the generation of girls that was like that was kind of like her and my, you know what I'm saying? Like when I was coming up in school and shit, but like I don't know. That's just the vibe she give me, bro.
It's Tory.
That's what's costing you $10,000 to do? Like, that's what you're spending your $10,000 a month on. Let's really break this down for a second.
You could get a 10K check from Twitch. What the f is a 10K check when you gotta spend 5K on trips just to travel, $500 on setup, $2,000 on your rent, $200 on Wi-Fi, $200 on IRL toolkit? You gotta pay the Clippers, pay a YouTube editor. Chat, I don't think y'all realizing I be going into negative.
Now, I want to address the $2,000 rent and the $500 streaming setup. Look, you live where you live, and I'm not saying rent isn't outrageous. You know, we need to find cost efficient and, you know,
Rent down show outrageous, y'all. Hey, listen, bro. I'm about to y'all in a couple months. Y'all gonna see a completely different setup because I'm finna move. Like they want. Don't get me wrong. This is not a small house, bro. But they keep going up on rent every time the lease turn around, and it's not enough for what they want for it anymore. So I'm about to go get me something bigger for less.
rent control areas, and rent control needs to be just a nationwide thing at this point. But that is a living expense. That's not just one about being a streamer. You were gonna have to pay that, or maybe pay one less, even if you just had a regular job. So you don't get to get that one. And $500 stream setup. Why do you need?
I just realized I was duping audio. All right, now we good. There you go.
Do that every single month. And I think that there's a reason why. Which brings us back to the $5,000 travel. It's funny because she used to be a desktop gaming streamer, but now because she has stepped into the IRL niche, she is now spending this amount of money each month on pulling some sort of stream off. And these things can become expensive. You need a plane ticket for yourself, a plane ticket for your camera person, you need the hotels, you need the food, you need the gas, you need the rental cars. All this stuff can and will add up. But it begs the question, do you need to be doing this to become successful? I know that streaming IRL is the new meta, and so especially because she got the stimulus pack.
I don't think you need to do it to become successful, but it is easy to stand apart when you're doing outside shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, not everybody want to sit around and watch somebody at a desk all day, and some people do, and that's cool. But even those people that sit at the desk, they want to see what them people do outside of sitting at that desk. So it's a value in IRL streaming, and it sets people apart from the ones that don't get up from the desk.
And she's a part of a specific community. She's been able to go to all these different events, whether it be going to DreamCon, Streamer University, Streamer Prom, you know, visiting Funny Mike, or whatever the case may be. These are all things that have boosted her streams. But if the risk isn't worth the reward to the point where you're going negative every single month, then I don't know if it's worth it. Actually, I know for a fact it's not worth it. I've talked about this multiple times in the streaming conversation. This one-up culture is ultimately going to hurt a lot of the streamers. Sure, it can pay off in some extent, but continuously having to one-up yourself month in and month out while simultaneously not seeing all the rewards and successes can ultimately be a dumbass financial decision for a lot of these content creators. That's why she's spending $500 a month on the streamer setup, is because every single month she's trying to find ways to one up and do a different meta and change something, do something new here, because she thinks that that is what will get her to be a more successful streamer. But I'm sorry, not when a time when eggs are $6, I know, old joke, and gas is through the roof, people are getting laid off left, right, and sideways, do you get to complain about doing content creation as a job and even seeing a $10,000 check? That's double the average and then some of people's monthly income, and you're complaining because you blow through it every month? Shut up. There's been a recent trend of streamers being more open, honest, and upfront about their situation. I think a lot of consumers are more understanding of how much money is in streaming, and it has a lot of people curious about the money that is in streaming. So when they open their mouths to then describe, how much money they're making, you would think that it would be from a good, genuine place that is then accepted by the youth, and then they...
I ain't gonna lie, I don't give a damn how much money is in streaming. I just want to do this shit because it seemed fun, bro. It seemed like a way to connect with people from my desk when I can't move. Like days where I have to sit and I have to do graphics all day. If I can do a graphic stream and I can still interact with a community of people. Once I build that said community of people, bro, I love that shit, man. Or just chilling and get to sit back and talk to somebody, bro. Like, I'm in a place where a lot of my friends they come from where I come from. You know what I'm saying? And I left where I came from. And I'm not too close to where I came from. And don't nobody want to drive out here. That's really just all it boiled down to. Don't nobody want to come out here. It's too far or some shit. Like, I don't know. Shit, but just part of the game, I guess. But either way, me wanting to stream don't have nothing to do with like the money aspect. I make enough money in graphic design and parties and everything else I do. This is just more so me wanting to build a community of people, like-minded individuals, or people who just like my content or like my personality, who enjoy me, so that I can continue to give me to y'all. That's really it.
On to make decisions about their streaming or their content creation careers. But oftentimes it comes out as just the most ungrateful conversation in the world.
Being completely honest and upfront with you guys, the money is not good enough. It was not good enough. It's simple as that. I streamed for 9 hours yesterday and I made $1,500 off of it, or $1,700. So
Nigga. Nigga.
if I'm being completely upfront and honest, it's just the money's not.
When he dries up, and everybody dries up, this is not saying he's gonna do it anytime soon. He may not, but somebody in his family is gonna look at this. Somebody who doesn't make $1,700 in a whole week, like 9 hours. And if he does happen to dry up later on in the future, he's going to look back and be like, damn, I was complaining about making $1,700 in 9 hours. Nigga, that's crazy, bro. I'm sorry, bro. $100 in 30 minutes is a blessing. Oh my goodness. That shit's crazy.
Having to, co-stream on 2 platforms.
Now, I did some quick math, and you've got to be like a surgeon or a top-level physician or an anesthesiologist or a damn CEO in order to make $166 an hour. That's exactly what Lacey was complaining about, saying that it wasn't enough money. Again, to the average person doesn't make a fraction of that. $1,500 is a paycheck, like a full paycheck for people, let alone something that you make in 1 day's worth of work. I think that it's just messed up because they're talking to an audience in which, they're then in turn needing their financial contributions, donations, subscriptions or whatever in order to support them, while then seemingly simultaneously shitting on them or shitting on the amount of money that they are making in that time frame. These are the cost of living a top 1% life. And I don't think that people understand that streamers like Snowcone, even at the small threshold that she's at, where she streams to 700 viewers live, is living a top 1% life. The only reason why she has the overhead that she has is because she decided to be that way. But truly and honestly, if you stay true to yourself, and what a lot of other content creators and streamers have been talking about for the past couple months, is that you don't need to go down this path of chasing everybody, because it may ultimately not end up being beneficial in the long run. If it's so bad, stop doing this stuff, and especially stop disrespecting those that are sitting there contributing to your day-to-day life, your livelihood, your funds, your streams, your whatever. They don't want to hear that shit. I don't know when this trend of, shitting on the everyday person from the content creators became so popular, but I did see one phase video not too long ago where they did the same old tired 9-to-5 worker isn't hard trope again. At some point, enough is enough.
What do you think's harder? 24-hour open surgery or 24?
Hey, bro, I seen this debate. This debate wasn't fair, because even the 9-to-5 workers they had in that motherfucker, I really feel like they was just older content creators, because I done seen a lot of them face, especially that older white lady and the older black lady. I've seen them before multiple times in phase videos at that.
Stream.
24 hours.
Her and the lady behind her.
We're saving thousands, you're saving what?
So I'm Angelina, and I work as an executive.
I feel like it might just be like a mock, like a mock type of deal. Cause I ain't no way, bro. All of them people in that room make content. Every last one of them.
You're right. You're right.
Fortunately, I have a beautiful girlfriend that does all of that stuff for me when I get home.
There's literally doctors who do one surgery and make hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Because they were trained for decades and they had to go to school. You went to school to be a content creator?
Streamer University.
I physically can't haul around bags of makeup. You physically could never trick shot. You don't know about dry streaks. You don't know about hit markers.
But when you're done, you're
You know
done.
about the Elgato wasn't on.
I'm not your target audience. So break it down for me, because I don't even get it.
You just said I'm not your target audience because I'm black. You don't want because I'm black.
Not fun at all. Because this dude was talking for 20 minutes about playing video games.
Whoa.
All right, look, as somebody who has, and as somebody who has been in the field of content creation for over 6 years, whether I've been the biggest personality wise or not, I've been in content for over 15 years, but I've been making a living off of content, for making content for other people and helping them build themselves up for over 6 years. It depends on what you do and how much of the content that you're doing yourself is that's really what determines whether or not it's harder than a 9-to-5. I'm not gonna say the workload is easier or harder on either side, but it all depends on how much of the workload you take on. Because a lot of the content creators that y'all know, they don't get the clock out. And that's the one thing that I do sometimes miss about a 9-to-5 is when I clocked out, it's over with. I don't gotta take this shit home with me. I don't gotta worry about this shit no more until tomorrow or Monday. I don't gotta think about this shit. Leave me alone. Don't call me, don't text me, don't ask me for nothing extra. But when you running a business or you creating content and your means of living depends on the amount of content that you put out, and then you build up a certain level of lifestyle or you move to a certain level of life and you have to maintain that by continuously pumping out content, I can see how it's not more difficult, but it is more stressful. Or not, maybe not more, but equally as, I say.
You're jealous, I'm not gonna lie.
Do you know the expression, give a man enough rope?
You're losing me. Give a man a rope.
What was he?
Wait,
It means-
is that racist?
Nah, I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of out of pocket.
Like working a 9-to-5, bro, though, if your spirit is not telling you that you need to be working a 9-to-5, you do not need to be working a 9-to-5. or maybe you just need to be working yourself towards something greater. The last 9 to 5 I had, I got fired from. 2 weeks before I got fired, I remember breaking down. I was in a warehouse job. I was driving a forklift. I'm like 40 feet in the air, connected to a harness, and I just, I broke down. Like I'm tripping. Mind you, it ain't but like 8 or 9 people working this whole warehouse. You feel me? So I come down, and I already know it's gonna be questions. So I just go ahead and drive towards the front of the warehouse. When I got to the front of the warehouse, everybody parked in kind of like a circle type shit. Everybody on they forklifts, they like, bro, you good? I'm like, nah, bro. This ain't my life, bro. Ain't no way in hell this is my life, bro. I'm not gonna say my age. I'm just like, this ain't no way my life. There ain't no way this is my life, bro. Like, this is not supposed to be my life. And I looked at the person next to me. I was like, hey, bro, when you was a kid, what you wanted to be when you grew up? He was like, a pilot. I looked at another person. I like, what you wanted to be? He was like, I wanted to be a firefighter. Looked at another person. What you wanted to be? He's like, I just wanted to be successful. I'm looking at all these people, and everybody in this office is younger than the age of 45. The one that wanted to be a pilot, I looked at him and I said, bro, it's an aviation school right down the street, bro. You 29. Go be a pilot. If you want to be a pilot, what's stopping you? I looked at the one who wanted to be a fireperson. I was like, bro, you only 42, bro. You in great shape. Go apply. What's stopping you? Find out what boundaries you need to break, what areas that you need to fix to be that, and go be that. Needless to say, I didn't take my own advice, but I was forced to take my own advice because 2 weeks later, God put it on the manager of the warehouse to pull me in the office. They pulled me in the office and he said, your time clock for the last 2 weeks say 8:01, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 8:01, 8:02, 8 o'clock, 8:01, and 8 o'clock. And we just can't have that. Mind you, we had to be at work at 8 o'clock. 8:01, 8:02 could be the time for me walking in the door to the time to the punch clock. But that wasn't good enough. We had no window. I looked at the paper. I looked back up at him and I smiled and I shook his head and I said, thank you. Because without you doing this, I wouldn't have had the strength to do it myself. And I walked out of that office. I've been back to visit a couple times. The next time I went and visited, by the next time they saw me, I was a completely different person in a completely different place in life. And that's just how it be for real sometimes. Like, but back to the video.
All of it, to be honest with you, is just rage bait. Like, it's to the point where this is some sort of content that I don't think will ultimately last. And I'm specifically talking about the rage baiting portion of it. Now, Snowcone did take to the internet to try to clean it up, but I don't know. This isn't the best apology either. It never is the best cleanup. You just got to leave some of this stuff alone. She says, I never once complained about getting a 10K check. Let's start with the fact that the entire video was taken out of context. My chat was spamming things like, you're rich, you should be able to buy clothes, why aren't you paying mods, etc. In response, all I did was explain, not complain, how a 10K check could be quickly eaten up by expenses, especially for streamers coming out of Streamer University who had a lot of trips and events planned afterwards. To clarify, I did not receive a 10K check, but the expenses I mentioned were very real and accurate. Here's the breakdown. $4,000 for 3 trips, me and my cameraman's expenses. Ain't the cameraman her boyfriend? Dang. It's messed up. I took right after Streamer University. Trips I don't regret at all. They helped me meet other amazing creators and create a ton of content. $400 to buy an IRL streaming setup, my first one ever. $2,000 on basic living expenses, $200 on Wi-Fi, and
pause though. It costs $400 for an IRL setup. We might be going IRL soon, chat.
$150 for an IRL toolkit. And that's just what I can recall off the top of my head, not even including tax. Sure, I could have stayed home and avoided traveling, but I wouldn't have made the connections I did or gained the opportunities that came from these experiences. That context matters.
Chat, I don't think y'all realizing I be going in the negative doing this shit.
Snowcone, people go into the negative just living regular, average day-to-day lives, right? They ride around without insurance all the time, no health care, no stable roof over their head, and deciding which meal they want to just eat and not really want to eat, but can't afford to eat. Maybe I'm skipping breakfast today, maybe I'm skipping dinner tomorrow. But ultimately, what you're saying is mighty offensive to people. Content creators gotta realize that the baiting of money and any money conversations that don't come in a positive light is not gonna make for good content. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This ungrateful streamer era is actually pretty weird, and especially because it's coming from content creators who are doing things that probably aren't going to be beneficial for them in the long run. Now, not saying this or speaking this or wishing this on her, but this is just a general sentiment. I wonder if this type of content creation bubble will burst, because everybody can't be the IRL streamer. Everybody can't spend this extreme amount of money to live up this specific lifestyle. Everybody isn't going to be a Kai Cenat. People are going broke that have never been broke before, and it's almost...
Hold up. Okay.
Amazing to think that they can justify this because at the end of the day, they did one stream with DDG. And granted, I do think collaboration streams can be helpful, but that one stream that you did with DDG, people came to see DDG. They did not come to see you. And that's the reality of the situation. But instead of spending $4,000 on travel, $900 on X, Y, and Z, why not focus on, you know, building your own community and making sure that you can have something that is sustainable and maintainable? That's one thing that I decided when I was gonna do YouTube. Hey, I don't have too much time because I work a full-time job, and I don't wanna spend so much capital that I would be going in the negative every single month in order to make banger content. At some point, it can be worth it once you reach the Mr. Beast, Kai Cenat, DDG, Agent 00 levels, where then you get brands to sponsor whole events, and you know, you're not really losing a dime there. You know, your whole production budget is made, but there's a certain point where you're going into the negative and then hopping on stream to the audience that consumed your content, and now you're being ungrateful as ever, talking to the people who just sent you potentially their last $5 or $15 to get you to a certain sub goal because you claimed that you were grateful just 2 seconds ago. I don't know, it's just really tone deaf during this specific time in American history. But I could be off, man. Let me know what y'all think. I don't like any of this money conversation or this type of specific money conversation from streamers. It was real for a second, and then it got very ungrateful very fast.
Yeah, man. All I got to say about that.
See the reservation? Is it? You know what time the reservation is? That's his daddy. 10:20.
Yeah, man. All I got to say about that one is you gotta watch the things that you say. You gotta watch the things that you say to the people who are consuming what you putting out, and that's just it. I don't think it's a good idea to talk about money at all with your subscribers or with your followers or with your chat or none of that. You know what I'm saying? It's just not a good look. You know what I'm saying? Keep it on the surface level. Keep everybody, you know what I'm saying, feeling like they equal. But yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next one, man. I'll let y'all. I'm gonna be doing more. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one, man. I'm gonna be doing more reactions like this. I don't know if I should do a new channel for this or not, but if I did, you'll see it on a brand new channel. And you can still go tap in with my other channels that'll be linked in the descriptions.
Keep it $150. I can really